and 11:30 p.m. October 22nd. I also want to say this, you know, because I see both sides of pretty much every issue. You know, I'm like in terms of my place in the universe, my place in the world, I'm like the spoke in the middle of the wheel between the past and the present and the future. You know what I'm saying? And I absolutely want to make this clear. You know what I'm saying? On my dead mother, on my murdered sister, and on my children, who I would protect every hair on their head, no matter what family problems we ever have had. I want to make this clear. I know that not every person who comes here to emigrate here or migrate here, whatever, I know that they're not all criminals. Just like all black people ain't all criminals. Or all white folks ain't criminals. All white folks ain't racist. All black people are not violent. All foreign people don't sell drugs or transport or bring drugs or abuse children and do pedophile or predator stuff. These are things that happen all over the globe. But I want to make it very clear that the level of violence, this has reached the third world level of violence. And not only that, but all of the gaslighting and abuse of the black community and the black people. I can't do anything about what's happening worldwide. You know, my mouth is big and I can make things happen, but not, I don't think I can make that happen. You know, that's on folks in their own countries. But maybe I can at least set a blueprint here in America, because real talk, you understand what I'm saying? I understand that people need safety. There are people coming who want safety from horrors that are going on in their countries. But those are their people that are committing those horrors, not the black people. And then they come into these communities and invite everyone from their communities to come in. It can't be all or nothing mentality. All black people are terrible. All immigrants are innocent angels seeking safety, when with our own eyes in our own communities we see different. And clearly the white folks do too, because they don't want them living in their communities. They're very quick to get those migrants, the same migrants they invite here, the same migrants that the black leadership invites here. Because the black leadership, see, my black people, I want to break it down to you why we can definitely take this to court, because all of the semantics and all of the gaslighting and all of the word games and that are being played, because not all black people have a high level of education, or not all black people, not everyone in any country, okay? But here in Black America, we were held back, our people were held back from education. Not all black people are as adept with deciphering the coded semantics of the oppression that is being forced upon us with cute little words like diversity and this. I don't care what words or what label they want to put on it. I look at the outcome and the action. Okay, when you're importing folks from countries where they have rampant gang and drug problems, drug crime going on, drug cartels and all of that, and then at the same time flooding our communities with those drugs, and bringing people came from those countries in the 80s. I saw it with my own eyes when the first influx of foreign illegals started coming in was in the 80s. I know it. I was right there on 160. I used to be there, me and my peoples, we were hustlers. And hey, listen, when it came to that game, the drug game, the people who were making it happen, bringing it in, transporting it, making it, manufacturing it, whatever, none of that was black American. Now, there were some black Americans who were here who were doing that whole drug thing before the 80s, before it exploded. But make no mistake about it, it was not at that level, or it was not that level of violence. Sure, I'm sure there were plenty of drug addicts, because our communities were all flooded with drugs. Any drugs that came in were flooded in the black communities. So there were addicts, but you didn't see all of the violence, all of the threats to the children and the safety of the women, and the dangerousness and the attacks and the mental illness people. They're inviting people from countries. They come and they want to sell us the politically correct gaslighting, my black people, and the semantics talking about we're all alike and we all just want safety. But then they come here, and some of them don't just want safety. Some bring drugs. Some come doing things like sex trafficking, child trafficking. Some come with health issues, needing to be taken care of for health issues, mental health issues. And then once they get here, all of a sudden now they're talking about, well, they need this and they need that and they need this. Hold on. So these are folks who have severe issues, some of them criminal issues, some of them mental health issues, et cetera, coming from extreme poverty. Bring them into the communities and don't expect there to be chaos ensue and crime and all kind of violence ensue. When that's where they're coming from, a background of countries where they're fleeing that from their own country, some of them. And some of them are just bullshitting and coming here to get advantage. And some of them are the very same participants. It's all a big scam. You got people coming talking about they're innocent and they always say, oh, a friend told me this. No, they mean the cartels. Not a friend, the cartels that they work with to come here and pay to come here. And these same cartels work with the white man and their own people to flood the black communities with drugs, man. And then want to say black people are lazy after they got them hooked on drugs. Well, miss me with the bullshit because, my black people were slaves here for 400 years, worked very hard, and were very much appreciated as long as we were slaves. Long as we want to be slaves, yes, massa. Oh, that's right. And like Biden said, you ain't black if you don't vote for me. That's right, Massa Biden, you right. Tell us black folk what to do because we your servants and your kids and treat us like children and stupid slaves and worker bees, modern slaves, worker bees in your own businesses and don't help us but they do anything to stop black people from getting ahead with intergenerational wealth to the point of even inviting from people from all across the globe to come here and replace us to be servants and workers in their businesses, or to get, some favor, and some of them because business owners themselves, and that's fine. And they even have the nerve to say, we have towns where we need people. Oh, you mean the towns that black people were told to stay out of? Those towns? That's why we have plenty action to sue, my people, because they are importing racism and replacism. That's what they're importing, not diversity. No, not the humanitarian crisis. Somehow they're telling us we're responsible to pay for foreign citizens' humanitarian crisis in their countries. But no responsibility to pay reparations for the humanitarian crisis of over 400 years of slavery, 60 years of slave breeding, and another 50 years of holding us back from intergenerational wealth with practices, designed to, basically take from black people or force black people to pay more. Everything is designed to hold black people back and, keep us from ever being on an equal footing. Because obviously with competition, even as slaves, we were able to outperform and outwork everyone else who came here, except maybe the Indians, I would imagine. And nobody else came here during that time, During the time of slavery, nobody else wanted to come here. They only want to come afterwards. Then they want to come, because they knew they wouldn't be treated well. But now, after our people had their heads bust open for all those years for civil rights, that nobody showed up to fight the civil rights battles, I'm telling you, I know for a fact. To see an African, an Arab, or Asian, or a Russian, or Eastern European, or anybody who was not Puerto Rican, even to see Puerto Ricans was rare. To see anybody else was like seeing a unicorn. I know. I grew up in that era. It exploded in the 80s. It's been going for over 30 years, and we've been paying for it. And the humanitarian crisis, for example, they displacing our people in Chicago. Right now, there's a humanitarian crisis in Chicago with all them kids dying. Ain't nobody doing nothing about that? Miss me with